meant that I had situations where I had to prematurely replace team members who had just resigned, or had to have difficult conversations with team members who just weren't excelling in their role. First is not always measuring goals numerically, and instead focusing on the bigger picture. When I first started my business, I thought that numerical figures like how many tutoring students we have, revenue, net profit was the best way for me to assess how my business was going. However, when I actually hit these targets, I felt that other parts of my business were underperforming or lagging. So a really good example is that in one particular year, you may be making 20% more revenue, but is that at the cost of you actually having 20% more complaints? When it comes to quality of service, that's something that is not necessarily as numerically easy to measure. So what I realized was that numbers aren't everything, and that for me, I couldn't just rely on these numbers to paint an accurate picture of my business health. Since realizing this, I now instead prioritize the overall well-being of my business as a metric to assess how it's going. This means that in conjunction with numerical goals, I also focus on people, such as our student experience and the feedback we're receiving, as well as how well our systems are operating and how smoothly the business is running day to day. This means that I can create a more accurate picture of how things are going across the board rather than just what our financials look like. 2 is having a clear long-term vision and roadmap for where I want my business to go. After a pretty short period of moving into my business full-time, I'd actually achieved all of the goals I wanted to when I had started out in business. And this left me feeling very unsure because I hadn't mapped out my future goals. I was actually in the state of uncertainty for a few years, and it really emphasized to me how important it is to continue mapping out where you want to be in your business rather than just setting and forgetting goals. I've actually spoken about this at length in another one of my videos, so I'll link that for you so that you can hear more about what this experience involved and what I've learned from it since. Number 3 is taking my time with the hiring process and onboarding people who I truly think are the right fit for the role and for my business. As a relatively new business owner a few years ago, the necessity of hiring people to join my team meant that I didn't really have the time to sit back and assess how compatible they were with my business. What this meant was that for a really long time, embarrassingly, I'd hired people into roles that they probably weren't the best suited to, and perhaps they could have been better suited to another position in the company, or perhaps they just weren't ultimately that appropriate for the job. This meant that I had situations where I had to prematurely replace team members who had just resigned, or had to have difficult conversations with team members who just weren't excelling in their role. Since then though, I've recognized the importance on all sides for those I hire into my business to be the right fit for the role as well as the company culture. My hiring approach now is much more informed, assertive, and aligned with the type of business that I want to build, which means that I'm onboarding team members who slot really smoothly into their roles, and that's best for everyone. At the end of the day, although these were 3 major mistakes in my history as a business owner, they're still mistakes that have helped me learn so much and really have helped me get my business to where it is today. I definitely believe that mistakes are lessons, not failures, and it is hard to anticipate them without the clarity of hindsight. So ultimately, even though if I could go back, I wouldn't want to repeat these mistakes again, I definitely don't regret the business path that I've been on because I've learned so much along the way. If you want to learn the top 3 mistakes tutors make when starting or running their own tutoring businesses, then have a watch of my free 90-minute training where I dive deeper into the top 3 common mistakes, why people make them, what you can do to avoid them, and what you should be doing instead, so that I can help you accelerate your business growth. If you've reached all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. It means so much to me to know that you're getting value out of these videos. So let me know that you have reached the end of this video by commenting below with the word lessons, just so that I can get feedback from you guys, so that I know that you enjoyed these type of videos for my future YouTube planning. Also, let me know, what mistakes have you made in your business that you've learned so much from? I can't wait to read your comments, and I'll see you guys next week.